Hello, my name is Ben.
And my name is Josh.
And welcome back to FPL Graduates. We're looking at a Game Week 17 review and Game Week 18 preview. And Josh, we've got a very special guest today, don't we?
Yeah, we do indeed. He's been top of our mini league for a couple of weeks now. I'm not sure if he's still there after today, but it is Younes. Bring him in. Nice to have you on. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
No worries. So yeah, Ben, what are we saying about this game week?
Oh, we're saying that it's for a lot of people, it's probably been quite good. For me, not so much. Unfortunately, I think I'm out of the FPL Cup because my opponent he captained Lacazette, my captain Salah. So you know what? It's one of them ones. The boys, you can laugh at me in the chat. Our captain Salah had a stinker, and yeah. Shall I get into my team first? I mean, we may as well have a look at the worst of us from this week so far.
Makes a change, to be fair. You've been having a good season. Not a bad season.
I've had not a bad season. So, right, here it is. And now, as you're looking at it, kind of looks like shambles, doesn't it? McCarthy in goal, 1 point across the back line. I mean, it doesn't look great, does it? But the key factor of this week is I may look like I have 45 points, but I'm actually going to have near 60 points with Kyle Walker-Peters and Forster coming off my bench for 6 points. It's big, but it wasn't quite enough for my team. I think if I'd had a couple of bonus points and a couple of save points from Forster, it would have won me the tie. It was really that tight. But yeah, backline pretty poor. And it was just a poor captain choice again from me. Salah, 3 weeks in a row blanking, I believe it is. He got me 4 points, and frustrating. And I think all the people who are jumping on the bandwagon for Salah have cursed us.
Yeah, that's me.
Since you've all banged on board with Salah, he's just not returned. Son and Kane, 25 points combined. I knew it was going to happen sometime. They kind of saved the game week there a little bit. Bruno Fernandes, 10-pointer. Another one where it was very lucky that he returned. I think, what was it? What minute was it that you got that goal?
It's just a penalty, weren't it? So, and he got the free bonus for it. So it weren't as lucky as before with Rashford.
It weren't as lucky as the Wolves one.
It's still, you can rely on him every week, can't you? He never fails.
DCL again blanking. It's a frustrating one with him. I mean, over the next few game weeks, surely I've got to look to get him out. Anguissa didn't play, obviously. Brewster 1 point. I think he's coming off the bench as well. No, he's not coming off the bench. It's Forster and Walker-Peters coming off the bench. So, you know what? I'll take it. I'm out the FPL Cup. It's not as bad as it could have been. I think Southampton clean sheet was good. I think if Liverpool had scored and it hadn't have been Salah, probably would be in a bit more of a meltdown. But I'll take it at the end of the day. It's not the worst, not the best, but got to move with that. Younes, what do you make of my team from this week?
Oh yeah, it's not a bad team. The Son and Kane, I think, saved you there, and I think FPL Cup you wouldn't have really made it that far anyway. To be honest, with most people,
already getting slandered. Yeah, I think it was the captaincy pick for me that really did let me down. So we'll move on anyway to. We'll take this out, and we've got another guest. We're really treating you guys today. We've got another guest. It's the old faithful. It's Glenn. Glenn, how are you doing, mate?
Hi, man. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good, mate. We're good. Glad to see you back. Look at him smiling now because Arsenal are actually winning.
Yeah, and my FPL team is doing good. That's the reason.
All this weekend, I've just not heard the end of it from Glenn and his Arsenal assets returning. So. It's a bit annoying, but you know what? We'll move on. Whose team do you want to do next, Josh? Should we do your one?
Yeah, we'll get the graduates out of the way.
Yeah, we'll get the graduates out of the way. We'll get the boring stuff done first, all right?
Yeah,
so,
for me,
Josh, this is you.
I've had a good week, so I've only had 10 players play. I think in total, after all the subs and stuff are made, I'm either on, I think, 77 or 79 points, something like that. No goalkeeper playing because obviously McCarthy got COVID and Ryan hasn't been playing the last few weeks, and I was yet to transfer him out. So, but not a big deal. Holding 10-pointer, that was huge. When I saw he got an assist, I was absolutely gassed. That was unbelievable. It was such a stupid assist as well. So he came in for this week for who did he come in for? I think for Kilman. Took a hit, and that paid off with him getting a 10-pointer. Cresswell, again, 11-pointer. He got bonus as well as an assist and a clean sheet, which is huge. Big returns at the back. Justin, 1-pointer. He was on for 9, but then they conceded in the last 10 minutes, which was really annoying. I think a lot of people are in the same boat with that. Fernandez, 10, Mr. Reliable. Captain Son this week, 26. Huge haul from him. If the top 6 teams play in Leeds, you've got to captain them. They concede so many goals against the top 6, and that's what I did. De Bruyne coming strong through. I knew he'd return. I don't know why people were taking him out, because he has a great run of fixtures and he always returns against Chelsea. So a goal and an assist. He was playing up front as well, which was great to see as an owner. Salah blanking for the 3rd week in a row since I brought him in. He's yet to return since I brought him in. So the Josh curse is well and truly underway. El Ghazi I brought in this week. Weren't expecting much, but he still looked quite lively, and I think he's probably the best Aston Villa asset attacking wise to go for right now. And then Bamford with 2. Again, unlucky not to score, as always, with Bamford. He could have had that header in that game. And then Giroud, he didn't obviously play. I thought he might have come on considering they were 3-0 down, but Lampard's great tactics, as ever, didn't show that. Stones, again, a clean sheet that got lost in the last minute, which was really frustrating, because I knew he'd come on for Giroud. And obviously they conceded the last minute. And then I've got a Bednarek again this season, 7 points on my bench that he will not be coming on for.
Yeah, it's not a bad week for you, really. I mean,
very good, to be fair.
I've been having to deal with everyone around me piping up about their great scores, and I feel like this week it's just one of them ones. Josh, you can have this week. You can have this week on the graduates, and you're catching up now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm like 1.5 nearly, 1.5 million, considering I was like 3.3 like literally about 2 weeks ago. It's really good. Getting a few good scores in a row and managing to bring back what was a stupidly bad start to the season.
Right, so we'll move on to I'll get another team up, and then we'll see whose it is. We'll get the league leader up. Younes, talk us through your team for this week and how you did.
Well, obviously I had Leno. I thought he would get like a clean sheet, and I had him for the Brighton game as well. And Kufal, Soucek obviously got that last minute goal. Robertson, I'm happy that Liverpool lost, obviously, because I'm a United fan. And Justin obviously last minute got a yellow card, and Andy Carroll scored. And Son, I was so close to captaining him. Last minute I changed it to Salah because I don't know, there's something in my brain telling me to do it, and obviously that wasn't a very smart decision. Bruno obviously with the penalty, and the other 3 2 blanks and the Vardy assist, which I'll take it. It was a decent week. I mean, I've had a few good weeks in a row, so 62 points, I'll take it, to be honest. And my bench was a shambles.
Yeah, we'll look at the bench. Not too many points on the bench, but
yeah, I think James is injured.
Yeah, it's something that's going to happen this season. Glenn, what do you make of the league leader on FPL Graduates League?
James said Matic. I mean, his name itself, he deserves to be up there. He deserves to be up there from the team name. I'm really jealous of the Soucek pick, man. I've always wanted him, but I can't get him in my team. Really, really good player. He always gets himself in the perfect positions every single time. And of course, Fernandez, another one that every time I watch United, I'm always scared because I know he's going to return no matter what. And yeah, he did again. So those 2 very, very good picks. I've always told you guys about Justin. I thought he wasn't going to start, but he did in the last 2 weeks. So that's a very good team going forward. Leeds cover attacking wise, they have some good, I think, a double game week. Fernandez has a double game week, so it's good going forward.
Yeah, I like the team. It's very template. I like the fact you got Rafinha in there. I think he's a really good option to have. Kufal as like almost like a cover for Cresswell. Really good, and there's not too many weaknesses going into it. In terms of what you're planning for the next game week, Younes, what are you thinking?
I'm going to do my free hit, I think, for the blank game week. I think I got a decent week for that. I think I'm going to have Sterling and De Bruyne. I've already activated it, so I'm hoping the fixtures don't get postponed or anything. And then the week after, I'm going to have to take a massive hit and get rid of James if he's injured. Get rid of McCarthy if he's what's it called? Not recovered from the virus, and Dallas and Adams should be fine. And then I might have to get rid of who else? Maybe one more transfer. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to. I think I might get rid of Leno as well because actually, I might keep Leno. Actually, I'll see.
Still,
yeah,
still
you
deciding.
must. You have to.
Yeah, I think I have to.
Arsenal defensive cover.
I think Crystal Palace surely will score 1 goal, not 3 clean sheets in a row for Arsenal.
Glenn's
You
come
haven't
on
been
for
watching
5
us, have you?
seconds.
Have you?
He's already getting a slander.
Tell him why, Ben. Tell him why. Get it up. Tell him why. Get it up right now.
So Glenn is obviously wanting his team up. I think he's had a good week. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I think.
Yeah, very, very, very.
Oh,
wow.
The biggest scorer.
83.
And I mean, I was very unlucky with the McCarthy and Bellerin clean sheets. If he played tonight and Bellerin played 60 minutes, it would have been close to 100. So
hey, that's why you have Forster's backup, you know.
Yeah, the problem with this day is if you have one team and then the game gets postponed, you're in trouble. So I usually try to anyway. Barton doesn't play anyway, but going forward, I'm looking to have 2 playing goalkeepers from different teams. So Tierney 18-pointer, wow. I mean, that was the best transfer I've made ever. Like I bought him in 2 weeks ago or something. Bellerin, as I said, 0 points, and that's because he played like 56 minutes, just 4 minutes away from a clean sheet. So I've always told you guys, like from the last 4 seasons that I've played FPL, I've only taken 3 hits in total for the 4 seasons. So I never like hits. But this week, like 10 minutes before the deadline, I was like, I really want Lacazette for this week. I had Wilson and Torres in. I knew Torres wasn't going to play the City game. So it was either I bring Lacazette and Neto or I keep the 2 of them. And I decided on bringing Lacazette and Neto, 4-4. 4th time I've taken a hit. Captain Lacazette in the last 1 minute, so like 50 seconds remaining to the deadline, and I just captained him from Kane. And then Neto returned, Grealish returned, luckily, Son and Kane always return. Lacazette captaincy, genius, Josh, genius. Arsenal players, genius. Calvert-Lewin 2-pointer, disappointing. It was either going to be take out Calvert-Lewin for Lacazette or take a -4 and take out those other 2, but I wasn't going to take out Calvert-Lewin because of the ownership. So the bench today, Ward-Prowse returned 6 points, but I'm okay with that. Unlucky with Bellerin and McCarthy, but yeah, going forward, I have 11 players for the blank game week, but I'm not sure all of them will play anyway.
Having 11 players is huge, to be fair. I haven't seen many teams with 11 players. Have you, Josh?
No, I haven't. It's mainly because he's got a triple up in Arsenal. That's one of the only reasons. But yeah, no, it was really good. I saw Bellerin go off, and I did feel your pain. To be fair, like a couple of minutes before the clean sheet would have been banked. Bit annoying, but Tierney, that 18-pointer, that's just a bit ridiculous, man. It's crazy.
Lacazette's he's going to give me PTSD for the rest of my life, I think, because it's taken me out the cup here, and now Glenn's captained him as well. It's like, was Glenn really my FPL Cup opponent? Who knows?
The best decision I've made this season, definitely.
Definitely not bad.
I can't believe it. We're looking into Game Week 18 now, and interesting to see the tactics. Younes, we obviously know what you're planning on doing. Glenn, what's your plan going into it? You've got 11 playing players. What's the plan?
Okay. I have 10, but I already made my 1 sub, which is take out McCarthy because anyway doesn't have a fixture. And I only have 4.8 in the bank, so it's take out McCarthy and bring in either Pickford or Guaita from Crystal Palace. Those are the only 2 goalkeepers I can afford. And Guaita has Arsenal and then Palace, so I really don't like that Pickford pick, but I have to have him in for a couple of weeks because I don't know whether he's going to play or whether he's going to get rested. I think he's been rested like 3 times this season. And they also have the FA Cup coming up. I'm not sure what is going to happen. So I brought in Pickford for McCarthy. The plan is to stick with 11 players. As I say that, I obviously don't think all of them will play. Lewis will probably not play, so that will get me down to 10. The rest of them, the likes of Target at home to Tottenham, I don't expect a clean sheet anywhere. I'm going to captain Lacazette again, Ben. I'm going to captain him again against Crystal Palace. It's either him or Son, and I'm going to leave with the captaincy on him, depending on how Tottenham line up against Brentford and against Marine in the FA Cup, and depending on how we line up in the FA Cup game. But I'm going to stick with that those 11 players, no chip used this week.
Yeah, no chip used. And then I'm guessing you're not going to use a chip again for the double game week.
No, because I've just looked at it, and Grealish will have 2 fixtures. I think I have 5 players who will have double fixtures in that week, including the likes of Ward-Prowse and Salah on my bench. So I'll just make one sub, probably bring in a City player, and then I'll have 6 players playing twice. So I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, a bit of a different story with me. I think I'm just counting them up now. I've got 7. I think I've got 7 players for next week. So what I'm planning on doing is free hitting. But I'm going to leave it as late as I possibly can to free hit, just in case the games get cancelled or the Premier League gets postponed or whatever. I think we should be all right based on what we've heard tonight, that Premier League should carry on like normal. But, you know, I'm not one for taking that risk and losing that free hit chip unnecessarily. Josh, what have you doing? I know you're doing a similar sort of thing with the free hit.
Yeah, so I'm a similar boat to you. I think I've got like 5 or 6 players that are actually playing. So free hit is a must. I've already hit it, mainly for the content. But we move. I've made a template. I think having City players is a must right now. They look very good against Chelsea, although Chelsea did look bad. I'm going to be seeing how De Bruyne plays through the, obviously they still have the Carabao Cup against United, and then the FA Cup game on the weekend, and then obviously they've got the blank. So I'd be interested with him because he was playing up front in like a false 9, and he looked ridiculous in that game. Like, he was playing very good. He could have had a lot more returns than what he did. So it looks good going forward. I put my team up on TikTok, the last TikTok we made. So if anyone wants to check it out, you can go on there. And probably not what I'm going with yet. I know I've had Lacazette on captain because that's what it was just deliberately on, and everyone was slandering me in the comments.
Yeah. Good reason, bro. Good reason. I do not like that man anymore.
I'm not sure if I'll keep it on him. I think the Man City against Brighton at home, I think they'll score a few goals in that.
Yeah, so Younes, looking into assets that we must have for the next game week, especially like the blank game week coming up and then the double game week the week after that, is there any players that you just have to have in your team right now?
You definitely have to have De Bruyne and Bruno Fernandes. Those are, I think, the must-haves in... Well, actually, Bruno is the only must-have in Fantasy Premier League, I think. But for the next game, it's definitely De Bruyne as well. And I don't think there's anyone else that you must have, to be honest. But City assets, maybe City defenders too, like Diaz.
Yeah, but Man City's fixtures going forward are just ridiculous, and the fact that they play in both the blank and the double, it just makes them even more like you want them. Glenn, what about you? Do you think there's any more must-haves? I know you're probably going to bring a few Arsenal boys in there.
No, I'm going to be realistic. I'm only going to mention like 4 or 5 Arsenal players, not 10. But yeah, I actually agree with you. I really want Bruno Fernandes for this upcoming weeks, but I can't afford him, and I can't have an extra. I don't have an extra sub for it. So Bruno Fernandes is a must-have. Also, De Bruyne is a must-have. The only concern with City is they have a Carabao Cup game against United. They have an FA Cup game. I don't know who's going to play in those ones. I don't know who's going to get rested in the Premier League games. So maybe Son from Spurs, De Bruyne from City, and Bruno Fernandes from United, and of course an Arsenal defender, Josh. An Arsenal defender. You have to get an Arsenal defender in. Probably Tierney has to be there. He's going to definitely play. I don't know how you guys also have had a question, Ben. Like, how would you guys approach these 6 games because of the COVID situation? Would you just like have players from 3 teams alone, or just from 3 games? Like, I only have like players from 3 games. That's the Spurs game, the Arsenal game, and the Wolves Everton game. Or would you like try and balance it out in case one game gets postponed? Because if one game gets postponed and you have like 6 players from that game, you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's a very good question, that. And I think there's no definitive answer on what's the best strategy to use, because you could obviously load up on players on from games that you know are going to be more likely to happen and get the points in that way, or you can spread out the risk and make sure that you don't lose these players that could potentially bring you in points. I think at this point, it's going to be a lot of luck-based sort of picking, and I don't think there is a right or wrong way to go about loading up on players. I think you just need to put in the players that you think are guaranteed to get some sort of return, whether that they be a defensive return or an attacking return. If you're trying to spread players out over loads of different teams and you're thinking, oh, they might not get points, swap them out and put them in for someone who is probably more guaranteed to get points, even if you're putting maybe one or two players from a specific team. Usually, I'd say don't go more than 2 players in a single team. But for like a free hit team, I'd say go for it, because what is there to lose in that? Like, try and get as many points as you possibly can. Josh, what do you think of Glenn's question?
Yeah, I don't think it's as big of a deal as it's being made out to be. Like, we've seen that teams have obviously had games postponed, but they'll still be played in the near future. It's not as if they're going to be played like a few months down the line. The Fulham, like the Spurs game, for example, that game's going to be played late January. The odds of you transferring out Son and Kane by like the end of the month is very, very low. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. But to be honest, for me, I try and spread it out, but I just wouldn't care too much. You need to just have the best playing players at the end of the day. That's what FPL is about. And like a few points here and there, you'll make it up throughout the course of the season. It won't really make or break your week. Like for me this week, McCarthy's been out, but I still had a great week despite him not playing.
Yeah, a lot of good things. We'll take a couple of questions now, I think, before we wrap it up. We'll make it a little bit of a short one, because I know it's getting on a bit in the UK. Sweg Lord asks, great name by the way, did they all make it through the cup? Now, before you all go and say yes, I'm going to say no. I did not make it through the cup, I don't think. Was 5 points short, there or thereabouts. So yeah, not good.
Yeah, I did. I smashed mine out of the water. He finished on like I think 55 or something. So, and I had 78, so he was not much of a challenge for me. What about you, Younes?
No, I also didn't make it. My opponent captain Son and I captain Salah, and he got like 70 points or something, and I got 62.
Not ideal. What about you, Glenn?
I mean, Arsenal fans, just like the Arsenal team in cup competitions, the FA Cup, we are pretty good in it, just like the actual team. So yeah, I got 18, he got 61. He had Fernandes captain, and I was very scared. Let me tell you, I was very scared when I saw Fernandes captain. He had the likes of Son, but yeah, the moments that he had Chelsea and City defenders, like 4 of them. So the moments that game, like both teams scored, I knew I was going to go through. So yeah, I'm through just like the Arsenal team, Ben. I'm okay with the cups.
2-2 here then. That's half the house. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, you'd expect that. Half the players usually go out in the cup. We're going to have a little one from Liam Talks Football. I know he's a regular on Glenn's channel. He says he's selling Salah, and afterwards he put 4 KDB. Now, Younes, what do you make of that? Salah for KDB?
I think it is a good option, because City's fixtures are very good right now. Salah's off form, but I think he'll definitely come back to his form very soon. So it's a 50-50 on that one. I think you should go with your gut.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen a lot of people asking that in the TikTok live. I think it's quite I don't know what the word is, but quite sudden to take out Salah. Like, he's world class. He's proven it for years on years now. Although KDB is a fantastic pick, in my opinion, you need Bruno, KDB, and Salah in order to really pick up the points, and that's what the midfield I've got right now. What about you, Glenn? Do you think selling Salah's a viable option right now?
I was actually thinking about it, because I had one sub, and I was either going to bring a new goalkeeper or play without a goalkeeper and take out Salah for De Bruyne for those fixtures coming up. But I mean, he has that double game week, and as Younes said, I think Fernandes, Salah, and De Bruyne have to have all 3 of them. And you two, as United fans, I think Salah scored against you in the last 2 games at Anfield, and also he has Burnley at home. I think he'll get some points there. So we're just keeping for the sake of it. So I think you can sort out other stuff in your team.
Yeah, two home fixtures after the blank. You don't want to take him out. Not a chance for me.
Yeah.
So the next comment we got is Ings for DCL. Now, Ings played against Liverpool. He scored a good goal. I don't know if anyone watched it. It was a cracking finish from
great
him.
finish.
Yeah.
Is he the replacement for DCL that we're all looking out for right now?
He's that too.
I'll leave it to the floor. Whoever fancies it.
Go on. I think Younes was about to say something about him.
I mean, I took out DCL quite a while ago, maybe I think 5 or 6 weeks ago, and then he kind of lost his form. He got a few assists, so I think I might get Ings anyway for Vardy, and then maybe upgrade Che Adams to Martial, or I might just keep Che Adams, or I might get Martial. But yeah, Ings is definitely a good option. I think Southampton I think he's going to be Southampton's main scorer. From now, he's back from injury. And yeah, he's going to take the spotlight for Southampton, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Danny Ings has always been one of my favourite assets in FPL. He's similar to Jack Grealish in a way where you can just rely on pretty much everything through that team is going to be through him. So he's a really good player to have. Whether I can get him in right now, it's going to be pretty difficult for me because I've got Giroud in, but I don't really have the funds to go from Giroud up to Danny Ings. So probably just going to have to settle with like a Callum Wilson or Watkins or someone of that ilk. What about you, Glenn? Would you get Ings in your team?
I wouldn't, and that is just because I'm scared of taking out Calvert-Lewin. I mean, 55% owned. The reason I've dropped the last 3 weeks from like 20,000 rank to like 2 million is because of being too clever with the picks and taking out those players that are highly owned. So this is like literally the only player I have highly owned alongside Salah. So I'm going to keep him because he had some good fixtures: Aston Villa, Leicester, Newcastle, plus Ings is like 0.5 more than him. I think we still need to see more from Ings, so I think I'll keep Calvert-Lewin because of the ownership, maybe. Mainly, yeah.
What about you?
As much as I want to get rid of DCL at the moment, I just can't. I can't at the moment. It's the price point for Ings. It's like awkward, and the price point for DCL is also really awkward at the moment. So I'm just gonna probably hold him for the time being until I see a way of getting him out, if you know what I mean. Like, it's a bit frustrating having DCL, but I'm not gonna have to worry about him for probably next week, and then we'll move on from there and see what the transfers are saying.
Ownership is not much of an issue with him because he's proven that he hauled that much. He's had like maybe 2 weeks right at the beginning where he's hauled. So I don't think he's one of those players who's going to haul as much. As long as you have someone in, like, for example, Patrick Bamford, he's been doing just as well, if not better than DCL in the past few weeks. Like, you'll be able to cover those points, in my opinion. And I'm in the same boat as Younes. I took him out, I think, Gameweek 10. So, and he obviously got a few assists and goals here and there, but nothing too crazy to lose sleep out of. And obviously, he's been going down in price a couple of times. So I'm not him, to be fair. Yeah,
we'll take 2 more questions, I think. First one is, would you recommend Guaita? I think I pronounced that right. Glenn, you were talking about him. Would you recommend him?
Yeah, it was between Pickford and Guaita, and you're not going to save a penalty every single week. I think he saved a penalty a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, I don't think so. The next 3 fixtures are very tough, very, very tough. Arsenal away, Josh, very, very tough. He also has City away, so I'm not interested in him for those 2 fixtures. For now, no. Maybe if you're playing a wildcard in the future, then maybe yes, but now, no.
Interesting. Younes, what are you saying about Guaita? I know you said you're thinking about getting Leno out. Would he be an option that you'd bring in?
No, I don't think so. I think Arsenal would maybe score a few against them. I'm thinking of maybe getting David De Gea in because United have some good fixtures. It's either David De Gea for me or I'll keep Leno for me.
That's interesting. I know a lot of people obviously free hitting this week. It seems to be between like Darlow of Newcastle. Or De Gea. Which one would you pick for the free hit?
I would go Darlow. I don't think Sheffield are going to score.
Yeah, it seems quite easy.
I've got Wan-Bissaka anyway, so I don't want to double up.
Yeah, fair enough. Would you double up on the Newcastle defence against Sheffield?
Nah, that's too risky for me. I think Sheffield have a decent chance of scoring.
Fair enough. So that's interesting to see. Ben, what do you think about if the free hit? Obviously, you're playing it. Who are you going to defence? I know you haven't really looked at it.
Dubravka's back soon, isn't he? I think he might be back.
He's not back on the bench, but Darlow's been out playing him. Like, he's been there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
It really depends. It really depends if he's going like for a long time or just for a single week pick. If it's a single week pick, then it's a no. If a long time, then yes. If it's single pick, you can go for the City third choice goalkeeper. You can go for maybe even a Foster somewhere if it's just a single week pick. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen Lewis is in the chat as well. Big up Carefree Lewis G from Blues Fans TV. Yeah, been a while, mate. And we'll take one more. There's a few of these in the comments. Aguero, good choice for free hit. Would you say that's a viable option, or is it just a bit too soon to be having Aguero in your team based on injuries, Younes?
No, I definitely wouldn't get Aguero. Pep isn't really starting him at the moment, and it's way too risky. I don't think Pep will start him against Brighton. I had him in my team when I made my free hit, but then I got rid of him because he didn't start against Chelsea, and I don't think he started against Brighton as well.
Yeah, I'm the same boat. I was thinking about him because it's Sergio Aguero. Like, he scores goals constantly, but I even had Sterling, and even still, like, I don't think he is like a certain pick. I need to check how many minutes he's been playing and how he will play over the course of this week. Obviously, they've got United in the FA Cup fixture, but it's just going to be interesting. I think De Bruyne is the obvious shout if you're on a free hit from Man City. The annoying thing is I think Man City have the best fixture, so you probably want as many assets as possible from that game.
Yeah, just don't pick Mahrez, lads. All right. I've been struggling too long with him as well. It's another one I need to ship out. There's a crisis going on at Ben's fantasy team FC. But yeah, but should we wrap this one up, Josh?
Yeah, we'll call it an end to that. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I know a lot of people coming from from TikTok. Thanks Younes for coming on. Massive thanks to you, and obviously Glenn, as always, big thank you for coming on as well.
No problem, man.
Yeah.
So no worries. We've left Younes's Twitter in the description. We haven't left Glenn's Twitter in the description though, because I got angry about his Lacazette pick. So go and follow his YouTube anyway. I'm sure after this we'll sort it out and we'll whack all of Glenn's links in the description. Thank you again, Glenn, for coming on.
Thanks, man.
So I've been Ben.
I've been Josh.
I've been Younes.
I've been Glenn.
And we'll see you
later. Have a good night, everyone.